Welcome to the Business Finance Matters podcast. Over the next 15 minutes, we're going to tackle some of the topics that we get asked about on a regular basis so you business owners can get a better understanding of what it is that you're probably dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Let's get on with it. Trevor, good to see you again.
Well, I'm a big furry friend. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Look good in the armchair.
Thank you. As you can see, I've gone back to black. I've been told black suits me. I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I'll tell you what we're talking about today. You said it earlier, actually, before we started recording. We're apparently a nation of, well, I said shopkeepers. You said
entrepreneurs.
I wonder what the French is for entrepreneur. But anyway, an entrepreneur. So, look, new start businesses, you know, they're a good, we've all done it. You started your business. I did. You know, most of the people we know have started the business.
Even the guys that do this fantastic podcast.
Squirrel Jam, you know, there we go. But what specifically? I mean, obviously our podcasts are about finance, they're all about debt finance, raising debt finance. What specifically do you want to talk about in terms of starting a new business?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have facts and figures, but I know that this country's always been held high in regard to its entrepreneurs and its ability for not just youngsters, but many people to start their own business. And let's be honest, anyone who starts up their own business, you know, has something within them that feels this is a journey that they want to go. Sometimes, like me, I started my business out of default. You know, I had a very nice, secure job, which for many reasons that we won't discuss now, due to the banking crisis, etc., led me into the role of having my own business. But as we know, there are a number of individuals that, for whatever reason, believe they've got something.
You sure it wasn't you nicking the stationery? No?
Nicking the stationery?
Yeah. No, okay.
I can't talk about that on this podcast. Anyway, the fact is that I think there is still a generation of individuals that are looking to start their own business or already started their own business.
Yeah.
But you know, Trevor, that any new business, especially if it's brand new, so you know they've got to a situation when they're ready to go, you know, without a doubt, you know, they're going to need funding. You know, and how do they get access to that funding? What is the best fit funding?
Let's just go back a step. So I think what we see today, unlike when we were kids and we were growing up, I think what we see today more is we see like these virtual businesses, don't we? These online businesses. We're not talking about that per se.
Well, not per se, but it's still a new business that any new business needs.
It's normally an idea to produce something, to deliver something, to manufacture something, maybe a service, maybe whatever. It often starts with the idea, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so what's your experience then? Do these people that start these businesses, or someone thinking to start their business, do they have all the skills they need? Do they understand what they're doing?
Well, that's a broad question, because does anybody have all the skills? I mean, perhaps you don't really know about what the skills are until you get yourself fully embedded in the business. But the reason that we do this podcast, of course, is all about business finance, and some of the areas that I'm seeing now for new start businesses is reasonably positive. You know, the British Business Bank that we and I know other guild members do a lot of work with are able to raise, for example, director loans now for £25,000 per director. So if you had a new business that's got 3 directors in it, you know, all bar having, you know, all the boxes ticked. Of course, every process has to have that.
That's positive.
There's £75,000 there.
Positive.
But also, you know, taking on any debt as a new start business needs to be considered carefully, and ideally, new start businesses need to have some capital.
Okay, so look, would it be fair to say, and I'm not going to discount them, are the clearers interested in new start businesses?
Unlikely.
Okay.
Unless, I mean, there's new start as in new start, and there's new start as in perhaps they're opening up a subsidiary or different side of the business. So we're talking about brand new. We're talking about an individual or some individuals that, for whatever reason, have decided we're going to go on our own. We're going to do this on our own. And it's unlikely, because, you know, there are some banks, maybe, that if there's adequate security, they may be, I mean, for example, a new business that I worked with over a year ago, They had capital, but they needed more capital. And the only way we could get the capital they needed was we were able to find a lender, because the the director in this particular case had some property.
Okay.
They were satisfied that because of all the other boxes were fine, they were ticked, that their security was in the property, so we were able to raise the capital needed.
So the message is don't be defeatist to start with. You know, if let's say if you're going to need capital equipment, you might need a van, or you might need some machinery, you might need tools, you might need stock.
Yeah, startup capital. Yeah,
you need. Of course, one of the ways, or the popular ways, you know, people have been made redundant. Often with their redundancy start something, don't they? They've got the skills, the knowledge, the expertise. The other way is the family silver, isn't it? And
friends and family,
friends and family. That's not always the best route, but it is often used. And God forbid, and I've heard it being used, personal credit cards, but you know, let's not go down that road. So what's the advice then? What's the guide? How do we get, you know, how does a business, a new business, how do they start? What do they do? What are the basics they've got to
having
get?
a plan's a good start.
Okay.
So, you know, whatever the business idea is. Now, whether you work with someone like myself or guild members, or whether you have an accountant, you might even have someone in the family who's got business background, but you need a plan.
Yeah.
And that plan needs to be, it doesn't have to be specific, because we don't know what's going to happen in that business, you know, over the first 12, 24 months, but there needs to be a plan. And that plan needs to be drawn up, needs to be realistic, needs to be conservative in a certain way, because everybody's bullish and enthusiastic about what they're going to do. But let's be realistic. You know, we need to have something that's achievable.
Yeah.
But that plan is your starting point. What's that plan saying about what that business is going to do? More importantly, how's it going to get funded?
And that's quite interesting. It can be quite basic. It doesn't have to be War and Peace, does it? It's what a projected income, i.e. what cash are we hoping to get in the first 12 months?
Yep.
What's the cost of acquiring that cash, which could be, as we've already said, could be capital assets, capital equipment. Could also be, you know, paying some salaries, paying whatever it is.
Yeah, the startup costs,
And hopefully there's a sizable gap between what's coming in and what's going out.
But what's important is, again, as business finance professionals, if someone has that business plan, they perhaps need someone, you know, like myself to talk to and say, look, this is our plan, this is the capital we're going to need. Or someone that has a financial background in business can say, fine, this is good. So we know what you need, and now how are we going to raise it?
You mentioned the British Business Bank earlier, which is interesting, and we know that is not even quasi; it's directly government money, it's treasury money that being invested in economy, existing businesses, established businesses, and new starts, which is great. Would it be fair to say though that would you know, Fred or Sheila or John or Josie know about that? I mean, it doesn't seem to me there's much publicity or signposting.
No, again, it's the signposting, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have the signposting to it, because that's what we do for a living. Hence why we keep going on and on, that businesses
keep going on and on.
Businesses need to speak to an organisation, which, by the way, we set up over a couple of years ago now.
Well, coming up for 6
you know, the Guild of Business Finance Professionals was set up for this very reason, to provide a signpost.
Yeah.
And that signpost is saying, we don't care if you're a new start, we don't care if you're multi-million pound.
Yeah.
Here is a hub, for want of a better word, where you can come into. There are people within our guild that have experience and expertise in so many areas of finance.
And what would you say to anybody sat here now watching this at any time, day, night, wherever they are? What look, the interweb's a great thing. You know, you can get all sorts. We know that, both socially and business wise. But really, is that the right way to start? Where to start looking, or is that more about information and trying to get hold of?
So for me personally, and I do it with my own life, for want of a better word. But it's a great information tool, isn't it? Google obviously has, you know, AI, you know, there's
other search engines are available.
There are lots and lots of information out there for, if you know, especially if you want to help putting a business plan together.
Sure.
But please do not go direct to lenders based on what we're seeing on the website.
This is the point I was making right from the start of this conversation. You know, do potential new business owners have all the skills and all the knowledge and all the experience they're going to need?
I mean, here's an exercise. Type in new business funding options into Google. you tell me what you see on the front 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah.
Well, I think we haven't got time to go through it.
Hold on, I'm just trying to work out those first 2 letters. No,
Don't.
that's all right. That's okay.
But, you know,
You're okay.
they're great information tools. You know, if you really wanted to get an idea about business finance, fine, use the internet. But please, don't go direct. Don't put applications in direct.
And
Take advice.
You used an interesting word there, a signpost. I mean, you know that we did a lot of work last year. The government asked for calls for evidence on various things. One was SME access to business finance. And I think the other one was the reorganisation or the relaunch of the bank referral scheme. This could be very relevant for a new start business.
We've got growth guarantee schemes that are out there. We've got, as I said to you before, director loan schemes that are out there. You know, their money is you know, whether you like it or not, it is what's going to make that business.
Of course, it is.
You know, be successful or not.
It is.
And providing the plans in place, providing they've got expertise around them that can provide them with information, genuine information based on what we're provided with, then in theory, the financing is out there.
Let's just pick up where you talk about it the whole time, don't go direct. Let's just never forget, whether it's a bank, whether it's that, whatever institution it is, and you talk about it, you could even talk about from your supply, from your raw materials. That firm, that lender can only provide what it's in its toolbox. It won't. You won't get comparatives.
Correct.
You're unlikely to get independent guidance as to whether that product is fit and right and proper for you. And if you're lucky, you might get someone that might explain everything to you. But it's
and also the other challenge is everything's. A lot of lending's driven on historical financial information.
Yeah.
So of course, with a new start business, all you've really got is the plan.
Yeah.
Clearly, they want to know who the individuals are.
Yeah.
So you know, just being hypothetical, what you don't want is a business plan being brought to you from somebody that's never had any experience in this particular sector.
And on that note, I mean, a business plan would do you go to a professional to produce that, or is that something that the business owners, in theory, should be capable of producing themselves?
It depends on everybody's skill sets. I mean, again, there are lots of tools out there that you can use to put your business plan together. There are, you know, and I mean, even if you sit down on a dining room table and start writing your bullet points of what your business is all about, you know, there depends on skill sets.
Sure.
But you need a plan, whatever it is. You need a plan.
And I suppose there's some key fundamentals there. What's the business going to do? How's it going to make money? You know, what's it need to make that money? We go back to our, you know, cash flow projections and proper budgeting and all that type of stuff, you know. But also, let's not forget the one thing we haven't mentioned: what's the experience of the business owner?
That's what I just said.
Yeah,
we need to find out. It's like if you're going to start a new business, hopefully you've got some experience in it.
Yeah.
But going back to the finance side of it, when we're trying to raise capital, you know, the majority of lenders can only raise or only provide some kind of funding if they got some financial. Historical.
We're talking about debt finance here, aren't we? I mean, there are other ways. I mean, we don't generally, as a rule in the Guild, get involved in equity. I think we'll leave that for another podcast, which is a whole different kettle of fish. And that's, you know, for the want of a better way of putting it, that's the Dragon's Den type scenario, isn't it? Okay, you're not going on Dragon's Den, but you're going, oh, I believe in your business. I'll give you, you know, throw up and take me for 95% of everything you're going to earn for the rest of your life, you know, or whatever it may be. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about relatively simple, straightforward debt finance of whatever variety it is. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, what we're not expecting to see is someone comes to us with a business plan saying, "In £1 million, please."
I think the big thing to come out from me from this conversation, Dave, is that lack of signposting. You know, let's say, you know, a 25-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old, even a 50-year-old or 60-year-old has got experience. They've got this idea. That's where it starts, doesn't it? Oh, I've got this idea. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go from squirrel jam on the kitchen table to opening the factory because I can export it and I can do this and I can do whatever. And that's great. But this lack of signposting to that truly independent, impersonal, that's a frustration,
and also, I
isn't
think
it?
there's a lack of confidence for the obvious reasons.
Yeah.
The economy isn't great. There's a lot of negative news going around about what's going on in the finance industry. What we don't want is those entrepreneurs, those new start businesses feeling like this is not something I can do.
Yeah.
Because how am I going to raise the capital? Well, don't worry about that just yet.
Yeah.
Get your plan together, follow your dream. When it gets to raising capital, then come and see someone like
Dave,
myself.
Dave, I think that's a great point to finish this one off. Listen, follow your dream. You know, many businesses are dreams. Many business owners are dreamers, but surround yourself by proper people. And I'm going to do it this time.
Going to do what?
You find your proper people at bfpguild.org. Don't forget that.
Okay,
you'll find your local professional, your local experienced person, impartial, transparent, honest, and trustworthy. Go and have a conversation with your local, and there are specialists in there from all different areas and all different. They know the market. Yeah. They've got other customers that are already doing what you may want to be doing.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Trev.
Well, there we go, mate. Listen, as always, it's very good to see you. Can I put you down for 4 jars of Squirrel Jam for the weekend?
Down for 6.
Okay, 6. Okay.
Christmas is coming.
Excellent. Thank you. Listen, my friend, good to see you as always.
Yeah, take care.
And you. Cheerio.
Bye. Thanks for joining us on this podcast. We hope it was useful. Please share, please subscribe so we can share this content to as many business owners as we possibly can. And if there was anything we haven't covered in this particular episode, then please let us know. Drop us a line. We'll be happy to talk about it in future episodes. Thanks again.